Go get the form quick. In less than 1 week, you receive the money. And what I like about it, and they can't even ask you for collateral set.
I go with there right now, no wasting time, oh.
I'm not saying you must not go there right now. You must make sure you pay the bank money back.
Hey, Judy, that you talking slow, so I will pay back quick so I can credit again. Echo Bank na easy, oh. Echo Bank, the Pan-African Bank. Things are on me, oh. With the emergency, how do I manage again?
Fatu, why are you sitting here just talking by yourself?
Julie, I need money quick, oh. I won't go find somebody to credit me, then I will pay them as soon as I get paid with the more in.
Echo Bank can credit you, but the only thing you have to pay in 1 month, and the good thing, the interest are just 3%.
For you?
Yeah, just go to any Echo Bank branch and you ask for the form to enroll you on their salary advance platform. When they give you the form, you fill it up and you make sure your HR sign it. Then you take that form back to the bank. After you carry it to the bank, they will send you a message to let you know that you're already on the platform. Then you can use the *326# and request for 50% of your salary. Instantly, you will receive it.
Wow, just like that? Pray and edit to more money, Judy. I'm going to the bank to pick up the phone quick.
Yo, go get the form quick. In less than 1 week, you receive the money. And what I like about it, and they can't even ask you for collateral set.
I go with there right now, no wasting time, oh.
I'm not saying you must not go there right now. You must make sure you pay the bank money back.
Hey, Judy, that you talking slow, so I will pay back quick so I can credit again. Echo Bank na easy, oh. Echo Bank, the Pan-African Bank.
Good day and welcome to the Fact Check segment where we debunk disinformation and provide the verified facts of statements made online and on the radio. My name is Siawe Meapu and today we will be fact checking claims made in the last couple of days. To begin with, on September 3, Larry P. Youngquay, the National Vice Chair of the Citizens Movement for Change, he claimed on OKFM that when former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf left office in 2018, the budget of the Ministry of State was US $11 million. He further claimed that the budget rose to US $21 million under former President George Weah and is now even higher under the Boakai administration. The former Nima County representative made the statement while criticizing public spending and outlining how the CMC will approach budget management differently if it assumes state power in the future. To verify this claim, we review the Ministry of State's allocations in fiscal year 2017-2018 budget, the last under Sirleaf. Fiscal year 2018-2019, Weah's first budget, and the 2024 and 2025 budgets under President Joseph Boakai. Our findings show that during Sirleaf's final budget year, that's fiscal year 2017-2018, the Ministry of State was allotted US $17.3 million and expended US $18.8 million. In Weah's first budget year, that's fiscal year 2018-2019, the ministry received an allotment of US $14.5 million and spent nearly US $17 million. Under Boakai, in fiscal year 2024, the ministry was allotted US $13.1 million with an actual expenditure of US $11.1 million. Based on this evidence, we conclude that the claim made by former Representative Larry Youngquay that the Ministry of State's budget was US 11 million when Salif left office, rose to US 21 million on a year, and increased further on a Boakai is incorrect. The records clearly show higher allocations and expenditures under Salif and Weir, but a reduction in the first year of the Boakai administration. And finally, on August 25, a Facebook user, Pascal Young, he claimed in a post that Liberia remains one of the 30 high-burden TB countries globally. Pascal made the claim while appealing for stronger political action on tuberculosis or TB in Liberia, stressing that as a survivor and advocate, he wanted the First Lady to use her role as National TB Ambassador to address a long-neglected health crisis. The World Health Organization defines high-burden TB countries as those that rank among the top 30 worldwide in terms of TB cases numbers, TB or HIV co-infection, or multi-drugs resistant TB cases during a 5-year period. To verify this claim, we conducted an online search and found the WHO's updated global list of high-burden countries for tuberculosis, HIV-associated TB, and drugs-resistant TB. The current list covered the period 2021-2025, replacing those previously used between 2016 and 2021. The updated list confirmed that Liberia is indeed among the 30 high-burden TB countries globally. In addition, the Stop TB Partnership, which provides a focus for global action on TB, HIV-associated TB, and drugs-resistant TB, also includes Liberia on its category-specific list. Based on these findings, we conclude that the claim made by Pascal Young that Liberia is among the 30 high-burden TB countries globally is correct. Liberia remains one of the 30 high-burden TB countries globally as confirmed by the WHO's 2021-2025 updated list. This is all we have time for on the Fact Check segment. This segment is part of an MOU between Local Voices Liberia, OKFM, Prime FM, and Kel Radio to counter disinformation to help the public make informed decisions. This MOU is funded by the Liberia Media Empowerment Project implemented by Internews with funding from the European Union. The funder or partner had no say in the editorial decision leading to the production of this Fact Check segment. We will be back with more Fact Check reports to help you know the facts. If you want us to fact check a claim for you, please send us a text to WhatsApp on 0777 556296 and we will check for you. Also, follow us on Facebook at Local Voices Liberia, on Twitter at LVL Fact Check, and go to our website at www.localvoicesliberia.com. I am Siawe Meapu. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
So we want to say welcome to the OK Morning Rush. The time is 22 minutes past 7 o'clock this morning. And today happens to be the 5th day of September 2025. You know, just few months ago, just few days ago, we were celebrating New Year. Now we're thinking about going to another New Year. That's how time flies. So you have to do whatever you have to do because time is not in anybody's favor. So my name is Fatu Kamara. I'm here up to 10 o'clock this morning. What's happening around the country? We're going to talk about that shortly at 7:45 up to 8 o'clock. As a matter of fact, we're going to discuss that up to 9 o'clock this morning because our guests from 8 to 9 turn us down. So we're going to have the discussion up to 9 o'clock this morning. From 9 to 10 will be our second guest segment. Our partner New Narratives will be here. We're going to talk about a lot of issues relating to the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court. And that is going to run up to 10 o'clock this morning. 10 o'clock, I'll be walking out of the studio. So let's do this together up to that time. Keep tuned. The more you tune, the better it gets. Let's go across the continent to know what's happening around Africa. So at least 15 people have died in a new outbreak of the Ebola virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The country's health ministry has said the presence of the virus have been confirmed in a 34-year-old pregnant woman who was admitted to hospital last month after showing symptoms that included high fever and repeated vomiting. The ministry added she died a few hours later from multiple organ failure. This will be the 16th outbreak of the deadly virus in the vast Central African state that has poor health services and is hit by conflict in the east. The latest outbreak is in the Central Kasai province, with 28 suspected cases recorded, the ministry said. Officials have urged strict adherence to preventive measures, including frequent hand washing and social distancing in high-risk areas. The World Health Organization said it was acting with determination to rapidly halt the spread of the virus and protect communities. 4 health workers were among the 15 people who had died. It said case numbers are likely to increase as the transmission is ongoing. Response teams and local teams will work to find the people who may be infected and need to receive care to ensure everyone is protected as quickly as possible, the WHO added in a statement. DR Congo had a stockpile of treatment, including 200 doses of Ebola vaccine, effective to protect against this type of Ebola, the global health body said. The last Ebola outbreak in DR Congo was 3 years ago, killing 6 people. An outbreak in 2018 to 2020 was far deadlier, claiming more than 2,000 lives. The virus, which is thought to have originated in fruit bats, was first detected in 1976 near the Ebola River in what is now DR Congo. That's an alarming story. Congo, is one of the countries that is faced with a lot of challenges, a lot of issues. From civil conflict to the deadly Ebola virus and a lot of things. We have to pray for, DR Congo. Let's go on Facebook. Let's go to Facebook to see some of those watching our live Facebook post. Mohammed Fiso Gordon is watching. He says, good morning, CEO. Good morning, Mohammed. I hope you're okay. Robert Ngonde is watching. He says he's following from Cotton Tree ABC Mission Community RIA Highway. Ye Daniel is watching. Sidiki Ka is following. He says, good morning. I'm watching from Mali, Bamako. Vanya Dukle is watching. He says, good morning to you, Fatu, Abegail, Kamara. I'm following from Johnson Street via. Julie Pear is watching. He says, good morning. I'm following from New Georgia Estate. Kemo Kamara is following from Cardwell, Benson Street. He says it is his birthday. I hope it is he or she, right? It is his birthday. Today is your birthday, Kemo Kamara. Hilton Wule Jado is watching from Greenville, Sino County. Hilton, I hope you're okay. Vamuye K. Bayo is watching. He's watching from District 17, Montserrado County. Bill Parker Smith is following. He says, good morning, OKFM 99.5. I'm following live from Fartown. David Blackie Sengbe Fode is watching. Following from Jacobstown, St. Francis. Wisa T. Chie is following. Says, good morning, Fatu Kamara. I'm watching from my office at the Capitol building. Keep on the good work. Thank you. UJ David is watching. He says, good morning, Fatu Kamara. He's watching from Connex O Road. Jared D. Dolo is following from Peace Island, Congo Town. Prince Core is watching from Gardner's Hill, Japan Freeway, Bachelor Factory Community, Montserrado County. Mafata. What happened with the other name? Will give me a time. Mafatu's son. Okay, it's Mafatu's son. Timothy Freeman watching from, he says, his hustle ground in Central Monrovia. Thank you, Mafatu's son, Timothy Freeman. Joshua P. Kamase is watching from Zan Chiefdom, Duo Town, Nimba County, District 8. Choice following. UJ David, we've taken that. Chris Cholo Play says, good morning from Fishtown, River G County. Eastman Atu Kura is watching from Greenville. Daniel Tente says, good morning, Fatu and Maka. Maka not here today, I'm on here today. I'm following the conversation closely from my usual Tinkers Village residents. Alexander Same is watching from Carwell, Benson Street. Robert Dickerson is following. J.R. Fazari Bima is following. Ambassador Frederick Meek Davis watching. Eugene Tua Willa Williams, Page the second is watching from Judican, Seclio Quadlo District in Grand True County. Wow. Morris Casimo Kroma is following. Elvis David is following. Flange Jr. is watching. Maxine S. Nemir is following. Ansu Fambula is watching. Johnny Colime is watching. He says, congratulations to you, Fatu. Thank you. Ahmed Ndebe, that's Aman Ndebe, is watching from the political capital of District number 15. Zoka Oliver Lasana. Tennessee T. Toplo is watching. Brabi Mba. Okay, we cannot take out of the names out of those watching. Zeneb Tunis, Benjamin Kanawo, Vafle B. Kole, Adama Bafali, William W. Wulu, Tito Joa, Armstrong Wa Benda, Jerry Fomba, Josiah Joseph Johnson, Joe D. Sosa, Brabi Mba. We've taken that. Thanks to all of those following the broadcast this morning. It is because of you that we are here and we'll always be here. We are going to take this break to be right back. Keep your dial locked down, don't touch it. The more you tune, the better it gets here on OKFM 99.5. Let's go for this very short break. So welcome back to the OK Morning Watch. I'm going to read the story we carried yesterday and also this morning. The University of Liberia has requested 500,000 to address urgent faculty and infrastructure needs in order to reopen on Monday, September 8, 2025. President of the University of Liberia, Lady Mapayan, told the Senate Committee on Education during a public hearing that the amount is intended to cover back pay for adjunct professors, compensation for 2025 teaching overloads, medical insurance coverage for faculty, and critical bathroom renovations across the Capitol building and Fennel campuses. Madam Mapayan noted that the institution faces broader financial challenges. The university's initial 41 million budget request was reduced to 33 million, of which 90% has already been committed to salaries. She added that a full renovation of the university would cost 3.9 million, while bathroom facilities alone would require an additional 300,000. As part of cost-cutting measures, Mapayan said the administration plans to retire staff who have reached the national age limit of 60, though some senior academics may be allowed to continue teaching. She also confirmed that efforts are underway to remove ghost names from the payroll. Meanwhile, the university's comptroller, Toka Gibson, revealed that the $1 million United States dollars earmarked in the 2024 national budget for campus renovation was never received, raising concerns among lawmakers about transparency and budget execution. So, 2 days ago, I think a day ago, I was reading this post from Ambola Mohammed on Facebook. A lot of people have been raising concerns about this issue of the University of Liberia, and what sometimes gets me angry is that people say a lot of the ministers graduated from UL, so and so people came from UL, but the University of Liberia is still that way. Even if they did not graduate from the University of Liberia, the state-run university, must it be that way? So he called the failure of the government to renovate the University of Liberia a provocation. Government's action towards UL is a provocation. He said nothing can justify why the UL is not renovated, but the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, Internal Affairs, Ministerial Complex, Water and Sewer, and other public buildings are being or have been renovated and remodeled. The renovation and upgrade of other public buildings must have been done along with the state university. To have failed to do so brings the question: what priority are you prioritizing? AAID says in 2029, 70% of universities will offer digital education and technological programs. To help achieve that, the government promised to create good environment for learning. Almost 2 years now, but the state university situated right in the center of power lies in ruins. Internet, clean toilet, and chairs there are illusory. Why we do not give an ounce to support to violence-styled advocacy by students? We conclude that the government's action is a provocation. About 80% of cabinet ministers, lawmakers, and members of the judiciary today were in some of the students' leadership, advocating and leading protests for better learning environment. That they have all the powers today but cannot do what they advocated for yesterday summarizes the Liberian sad story: words, not deeds. So, let's start with that post from Ambola. Why, like I said from the beginning, why it is true that a lot of our leaders nowadays who are in position graduated from the state-run university, it's not just a reason or justification for the renovation of the state-run University of Liberia. The university must be renovated regardless of how many people graduated from that school. So now, imagine the Ministry of Finance renovated. Just recently, the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation was renovated. The ministerial complex was renovated. But look at the state-run University of Liberia. Where our leaders come from. And I like how he put it. These people were leaders advocating for the same thing. Better learning environment. But now they're in power. They have all the power to do it. They have all of what it takes to do it. But they are not doing it. Now the government renovates all of the other agencies and institutions of government. But the University of Liberia, when you see pictures, I'm not one person who visits the University of Liberia frequently, but the last time I visited that campus, you go in the classrooms, you don't even think that this is a university classroom. Chairs are broken. You look at the walls, the pins are moving from the wall. Look at the back of the building. In fact, plants, there's a tree growing at the back on the building itself. The trees are growing on the building itself. And you know how risky is that for students? A lot of things our leaders need to look at. Now, the University of Liberia is requesting 500,000 to address and this is just according to the president. They need 3.9 million to renovate the entire University of Liberia. I listened to the president talk about all of the pipes in the wall have spoiled. So all of those things have to be changed. That's the only way you have running water. The bathrooms are so bad off. How do you expect people to go there? You see people leaving the University of Liberia campus coming outside to ease themselves. And the comptroller said the 1 million earmarked in the 2024 budget, for the campus renovation was not received. What happened to the money? They did not receive it. So it all boils down to what we say on the daily basis, that we do not prioritize education, right? Because if we really do prioritize the education of the future generation, and we're talking all the young people are our future. But this is why the students protest on a daily basis. The post said, this is not something we encourage, but this is the right of the students of the future generation to have access to better learning facilities. To learn in a good environment. And then you wonder why people fail national exams. You wonder why somebody will say our IQ low, and Liberians are not very good when it comes to their output, academic output. You wonder why people say that. These are the reasons. These are some of the reasons. Now, instead of sitting in class, these students will have to protest over and over again. Sometimes somebody said you are difficult to enter, difficult to stay, difficult to come out. the 3 days. So you're there. It's not because you're not going to school, or maybe you cannot afford the small amount you're supposed to pay at the University of Liberia. No, it's not because of that, but only because teachers are not being paid. Faculty members, they are not receiving their salaries. Only because the bathrooms are so bad off. Only because there are no chairs to sit on. See university students running for chair up and down. I mean, what are we even doing as a country? What are we prioritizing? Right? So, a lot of things we need to look at when it comes to the University of Liberia. Students not doing well in national exams. Most of the time they say, oh, the student is not doing well. Liberian students, somebody said our IQ low. What do you expect? So somebody going to school, they'll have to sit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and you just to get one university degree, you will spend almost 10 years to obtain one university degree. Before that, you finish born 3, 4, 5, 6 children. And sometimes people get weak, so you'll be there, you get old, you're already in your old age, trying to obtain just a university degree, which is not your fault. But because of the government's failure to ensure that students of Liberia have access to, better learning facilities, good education. Because if the teachers or the faculty members, if they don't receive their salaries, you don't expect anything to go on the campus. These people too have families they have to cater to. So now the budget of the University of Liberia was reduced to 33 million. Now 90%, as the president said, was committed to salaries, or has been committed to salaries. I mean, what do you do with the remaining amount? There's nothing left. So it's high time that the government of Liberia think about the future of Liberians. And the future, the young people are the future. We all say that. But these people are sitting. Education in Liberia, I must say, is now becoming a problem. Even high school students do not have, everywhere you listen to our correspondents talk about, the school buildings are in deplorable conditions. Students do not have access to better learning facilities. And then you come to university again. From high school, you're facing the same problem. You come to university, the same problem. What are we doing? What is our priority? You renovated the ministerial complex. There was a budget for that. You renovated the Ministry of Finance, Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. In other agencies, they've been renovated. But the University of Liberia is standing there years after years. That building looks the same. It's still the same. So the time is 30 minutes climbing up to 8 o'clock. We're going to open the phone line so that we can talk about this issue of the University of Liberia. What is the government not doing? What are we not doing about this University of Liberia, about education in Liberia? So the thing is not just the university, it's a problem. It's a problem. It's a big problem. It affects high schools, and after the high school, you come into university, you come and see the same problem. Right. So 0777 700 995 0555 995 995 0778 594 595 is the female line. Call us on 0778 594 595. The females, you can call us on that number to be a part of the program. Let's take this caller here. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu.
Yes, let's hear you.
Thank you. Good morning to the parents for the broadcast.
Yeah.
This is Will William Covey, and I joined this conversation from District 3.
Go ahead.
Fatu, let me appreciate you this morning for your analysis regarding education in our country, most especially when it comes to the University of Liberia. Fatu, I'm a president of that university. I'm attending the university. Look, it is good for us to conscious the government, for them to prioritize education, more especially the University of Liberia, which is the state premier university. But hey, we also got to conscious the administration of that university. The government allocate budget for that university. And most they have extra funding that they're collecting on a daily basis from that university. For example, recently, the university, the administration, or just administrator or entrance, right? Look, do you know how many thousand students register for that entrance? Paying 3,500. That money is not going back to government. It's literally right with the university, right? What are they doing with that funding? Then you also have to see when school opening recently, we're doing registration. You have to pay 2,500 for registration. Each student at the university paying that amount. Where is that money going also? These two funding that the university collecting extra, these are things that they need to look at certain projects to undertake for themselves. Not everything you will be so dependent on the government. The project is not that much for government to satisfy all of the agencies and ministry or university or schools around here. But you collect.
But there should be a priority. Why it cannot cover all of the agencies and ministries, but there should be a priority, and I think the University of Liberia should be one.
This is why I agree. And the priorities from that is what the government allocate budget for them. In that budget, they can look into it to prioritize one of their priorities.
Okay.
You cannot prioritize everything one time. Even you go to the public school, students are registered. Recently, Ministry of Education just came out with something again. 12 grade paying 3,000. From general paying 2,000, all the money they collect from the very public school. Not a day one of the principal from our public school will take the money we collect a year from registration from students, we buy tiers for it for this school year, nothing. But it will depend on the government squarely to allocate that budget for them, even for tiers. I think it is not good. We need to conscious this head for these places.
Okay.
They need to be fair to the Liberian people. Not everything you will depend on government. They enter you. They see they have money collected. You should even say, "Oh, we will buy here or we will start the renovation with it."
Thank you. Let's take another caller. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatu.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir, Fatu.
Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Subabi Morris, and I'm calling from Ghana.
Let's hear you.
Fatu, I'm disappointed when it comes to the issue of a University of Liberia. Fatu, this is why God was there with the Israelites was telling them, say, you people see your horses. You have decent horses, then you see my horse. You don't want to build my horse, but rather you prefer building you for fine horses. But the horse of God is not in English. This look at what happened at the University of Liberia. But if you look at the University of Liberia, they kind of people that come from that institution, that have left from that institution. Some of them are ministers, some of them are president, some of them are senator, and so on. But Fatu go and see where they say they can obtain a master. Fatu send that building was built for up to now. That building has not been built. Fatu, how long will it take for people to advocate? Say, okay, we from the Senate or we lawmaker, or we for the university law. See how bad. See the CPAV. That chicken portrait. Fatu, you sitting in class, other people in the other classes disturbing. You will not learn nothing. You sitting there looking outside. But this is how the universities will be. These people live for years, they go outside the world, they see best university, but they can't see their own university. But they couldn't, I don't know what happened to us. At the essence of you go to university to obtain knowledge, and that should be a legacy that what you learn for, you should be able to maintain that place. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Let's hear this caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
My name is Jonathan S. Sensusino, and I call from Front Street.
Okay.
Thank you, Fatu, for all of the talking points. I want to be grateful to you for all you do for Liberia. Fatu, to the point, the University of Liberia will continue to be that way it is because this is Liberia thing. You know, when it is not you, it shouldn't be better. When it is you, it should be better. As you regularly said, you see, people were in a university, they were in student leadership. They were advocating for this thing before, but today they are in leadership. All of them see the University of Liberia and said they know when they to achieve something. So they just run for us. So today they are now calling those students that are there advocating for good things to go to the University of Liberia. They are now taking them to be enemy of the state. They can hold out a name for them. But yesterday when they were there, they all two were doing same thing. So see today, the University of Liberia that represent this country, see how it looks like. It is in a deplorable condition. They're not even representing as a country. The people will leave from here and go to other places and see other university and come and see their own. It's remain dirty. It is failure. It's bad up. No one got time for it. So it's just bad for us. You know, even not only the University of Liberia, but I just want to go to even the public school. See all of our public school. They are all bad up. No library. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just bad for us. Not only the University of Liberia, not look at the University of Liberia, but even the public school, the elementary school that people leave from and go to other schools. You go to everything just bad. So today, our country will continue to say one thing over and over, no improvement. When other people in the opposition, they will see all of the wrong when they can't do the same old thing. So where are we heading?
Okay.
It's just bad for our country, man. Thank you for your show, man.
Thank you so much. Let's hear this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Sis Fatu.
Good morning.
And I'm David Harris Nakwa from Benson Street. Sis Fatu, I think our government are not doing well for the people of this country. Government go, government comes. The problem is still running remain the same. That problem has been an old age problem. Why is it our government continue to treat the citizen of this taking this form and manner? I think it's totally wrong, Sis Fatu. This problem will not continue to remain the same forever and ever. Continuing process. The issue of the state running university. I think the government need to see how best it can solve this problem once and for all. Thank you, Sis Fatu, for the show.
Okay. Thank you. Let's hear this one. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, my Fatu.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Clarence name I'm calling from Ghana.
Go ahead.
Thanks so much for this topic.
Okay.
You know, some are all from the school there, and other people from there are just other saying. But you know, while I'm observing of University of Liberia there, if it's not done, because that problem in that school now, even now, it has been over on and on and on. I can remember I was there when Dennis was there because sometimes he used to talk to fire students to come and run into the area. But let me tell you something. Something going on in that university, they have to clear it out.
Mm-hmm.
That school had to be audited. My sister, that school had to be audited.
Okay.
Let me be very frank with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the University of Liberia, but something is going on over there. Even the money they are giving, even the money the president called for, I believe 80% have been paid. Okay, I don't know whether she was requesting for 40 million. The government promised to give 35. Out of 35, I think 25 have been given.
33.
Okay, good. Thank you. But although it's true, but millions of dollars is not small thing. Even the building are not painted. For God's sake, that school had to be audited. Then from there we know what happening. But if not,
it will just be like you boil a drum, you hauling water in it. While all people know the other side of the drum, people are not seeing it. They say, oh, what happened saying last year you just started hauling the water, you can't pay in the drum. That school, if it's not audited, we all will not know the problem. But if the audit that school, the auditor will tell you whether that money is not, whether it's small. Okay? But something had to go on before that problem be solved on that campus. Thank you so much.
Thank you to 0777-700-995, 0555-995-995. Let's hear this caller. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning, your life.
Fatu, how are you doing? The name remains China Joseph across from Lynn Street.
Okay.
Okay, Fatu, the University of Bureau is our school. But one of the things I want to say here, we are not doing, the country, we're not doing well, whether being audited or not.
Mm-hmm.
Give the adequate budget to the university. If it is not in a thing, then you audit them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you should pay credit fees. But we move the credit from there. We say free university. If we say free university, it must be well supported.
Yeah.
Look, the people, they even are maybe senator, they even are maybe representatives to go in our house. We turn our back on the university and we're looking for money for ourselves. Yes, indeed, we can say illiterate people in Africa is noted for making news. But if you are not educated, you will go in our house, you not make no gain. So the people are making you rich, you're turning your back on it and you're look at the budget the senator making in the house, the money they're making there. Then they put on university, we can't see the TA, they gave the budget, they call it down. They gave budget, we should prioritize the university as a period. The high school around here, people being very cruel. This is why our children facing problem. If a student pay $1,000 to register, you're not doing nothing without government paying you. When you do it on $1,000, that's $3,000, $4,000 children pay to register, and almost 7,000, 8,000 students. When you do all that money, the government paying you. You can't pay the building. You can't pay the building government with GF. They are being very dishonest to the country. We need to stop this. Government can pay attention to the university and bureaucracy and be vibrant. We took the woman where America, they went up being teaching Google University over there. We brought here, we start playing all kinds of things, which is music, all kinds of looking up. Is that correct? It is not good for us. Government got to pay attention to the university bureau, whether audited or not. Then they need that money. If they properly utilize it, you audit them. They only pay in a little decent like a FQ. You got fast, you can run better bill every year, back years and bring it there. But besides FQ, no other bidding in good condition that place. What we do our own thing like this, we are going to other people to see that university around here. Our children are on the place. My God.
Okay.
Thank you, sister.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu.
Yes.
Thank you, Lenny. Robert, probably known as political slaughter environment. I call you this morning from the temporary quarter of the medical government in Tonko.
Where?
Tonko.
Okay.
So thank you. Compared to the issue that has to do with the budgetary allotment at the University of Liberia, I think the rescue government is not being fair to the people in terms of being honest and fiscal transparency.
When the CDC government was there, did they renovate the building?
No, if they renovated the building, there was massive renovation that went on in that building. You saw the construction of the new building that done it. You saw it coming back here, went down there. You saw the construction of the new building that done it. And the budget of the University of Liberia was given to them when it declared a situation, it was maintained. How can Georgia maintain a situation for 6 years and nothing as such, like controller going to legislature saying that they did not receive $1 million? CAFO should be giving account of the money. You cannot allot money to ministries and agencies and then they are not receiving it. And CD today, GSC only reported $2.8 million all accounted for, no receipt, no trace. And the government really have less on his feet. He have brought corruption. So the government needs to be honest. If you come to rescue the people, you should rescue the people with sincerity, honesty, and self-transparency. The government, every morning you wait for a young corruption, Fatu, it's so appalling.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear this caller. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel Toba, and I call from Ghana.
Go ahead, Ivan.
It is an interesting topic this morning. You know the thing, when you listen to people like to politicize everything.
I swear.
Let's visit the budget of the University of Liberia. And you know, every budget has a line item. What was placed in the budget for maintenance that is not used, that we can be calling on government, backing our government. Until then, government should not be the document here. The people who manage the budget should be the people who should be telling us what is in the budget for maintenance. It's simple.
But the people can give their budget and you call it down to the small amount. They say it was initially 41 million, but then reduced to 33 million. So then, what do you think? Maybe the maintenance portion was cut off.
No, what we're saying is maybe, let's be real.
But you listen to the president.
They will be able to match it to the level of work at the university. Until then, we are all making assumptions. I listened to the other caller. The other caller said there should be a comprehensive audit. Let me tell you what happened on our campus. It's bigger than what we see or what we see. Okay. The people want to always use the student populace to come out and sorry for the misuse of the word, and just come up with kind of aggression and make it to know that things are not in place. There are structure in the university there that always using students to misact. And let's just do our best. Those of us who are in the media, let's know what is in the budget, not just for UL, but for maintenance on UL budget line.
Okay.
People just do the thing to get government and say, oh, government, people, somebody graduated from university is supposed to be the one repaying me the face of the university. I mean, sorry, it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, thank you. So, the University of Liberia requested, what if we give the 41 million to the University of Liberia and see if the building is now renovated? But then the 41 million was reduced to 33 million. I'm not disagreeing with anybody who's calling for audit, at the University of Liberia. It's a good thing, right? We all need to know how the money is being used. If there's a problem, then who is the cause of the problem, right? Where's the money going? We all need to know that. But if the university is requesting so and so amount, they know why that they're requesting that amount, right? But if you're saying, the money they get to them, the university should manage whatever is, appropriated, then what do you expect, right? Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu.
Yes, let's hear you.
I'm Asana Kamara calling from Kamara.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Fatu, the topic under discussion is very important. Some of us are product of that university, and as such, we expect that the best should come from there, most especially when those who are from there are at the helm of power. But then, if I were the president of this country, before appointing any government official, I will ask you to come with your family. And if you come with your family, if there's any of your kids who are out of high school or attending university like Liberia right here, for appointment, that would be the prerequisite of me appointing you. If your kids are not out of high school, they will attend high school in Liberia here before I can appoint you. Those are because you see people who in the government, all of their kids are out of here, so they pay lip service to that. It's one of the problems. Another day somebody said that place should be audited. By that person's idea. That is what there are people who are, I know a woman at that place saying, I entered there, I met her there, I left her there. She has not been, nobody asked her question to his child. I don't want to call name. anything that business for. You know, she in a cashier billing. So those are people that just they don't want to remain. I mean, be removed from that place. They are just there doing all sorts of things. Whenever they use the students will get out and cause problem. They are at the back causing serious problem. Now I know also they're taking home. They're taking pay on the university payroll. They also need to clean that place there. So those are some of the things I do. For me, like I said, the media call any president want for that place to be straight. Let the government official in that person government, their children attend that place, both high school and college. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 0777-700-995, 0555-995, 0778-594-595. Let's hear this caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu.
Yes, let's hear you.
Thank you. This is Zach F. Bembo, and I call from Upper Cardwell.
Okay.
Fatu, look, when we are discussing the state-run university like this, some of us who really want to see the best of Liberia can be disappointed. And I want to agree with your caller who just left the line. Most of the guys who manage the university do not have their case here. They are out there, so that's the reason why they suppress those suffering masses who are managing to acquire some level of education so that they can live a better life. And it's unfair. You can't have your case out there and our government is using our taxpayer money to making sure that we have access to quality education and people come here and just play fun out of our people. It's not good. It's not good at all. So apart from just auditing, I think those people who will have the opportunity to serve this country should bring their case there like it was in the days of Taylor. Nobody could become a minister in Taylor government with a case out of the country. No way. All of us will sit there and go through what everyone is going through, but you can't have your people on our side enjoying, then you walk out, sit down here and suppress people. It's not going to work. And I think if Waka mean well, Waka should be thinking in that direction and bring people who have their case there to go through what our people are going through. Thank you for putting the time this morning.
Thank you so much. Let's take this caller right here. Good morning. Oops. We lost it. Call us 0777 700 995, 0555 995 995, 0778 594 595. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu.
Yes, let's hear you.
Okay, my name is Steve Peters. I'm calling from the ERW Junction.
Okay.
Yeah, people work for their money. They send their children to America to go to school. That one, it's not the case we discuss here. Look, if you work for government, look, the right thing need to be done in the country. Let the government support the University of Liberia. Every little thing we discuss here, people want to politicize it. People want to put it there. We're discussing serious matter, then you bring politics. Doing bad administration, what was the condition in the University of Liberia? You brought free education, you cannot sustain the university. We need to pay credit hour, you can't pay credit hour, you could not sustain, you cut down the university budget. The budget should be intact. If they put out to the rating, then we laugh at them, we order them, those are for comable of the policy. That's it. But past administration, new administration, all of them, they are not doing good thing. They're not doing good thing at the University of Liberia. They're not treating the school well. Everything that needs to be done, and we have urging the broker government to do for us, is to pay keen attention to the University of Liberia. Give them the money they needed. Well, I stay there for a long time. Who stay there for a long time? If they mismanage the money, say auditor there. Why do you get GSC for? If the money is not properly managed, those are for. And the new president start people there. Yes, the same thing can be done to them. But you can't structure little people. The registration over there, where you will pay fees. Okay, they were at university. There are a lot of things that need to be done at the University of Liberia. Okay? So if you say because the children pay testing fee, and what they do all that money there is being very, very narrow-minded. We shouldn't do that to the University of Liberia. Okay. Then their budget they requested for, if they don't do the right thing, then we check on them.
Yes.
But don't cut the university budget and gave the horse their money, gave the executive their money, then you call the poor boy and cry, the university is not conducive. Then we say, what we say around here? Look, I mean, we support the government error, the last of the government to change.
Of course.
Put a baby on a boss that is looking conducive. Because Fatu committed to that baby, committed to that baby, every year they bring cheers. More beyond beside FTU, and TH Daily, or GH Para got there. Why we're treating you for the why you get a degree for? Then you're saying the camera being there, your horse is fine. They pay you got a degree for that guy all there. Pay attention to it. Look, with the horse over there, the president has to do something about University of Labrador. Then they say the supers and they're troublesome. What makes the children troublesome is the way you treat them in University of Labrador. Hello?
Yes, you're live.
The way you treat them in University, that's why the super cannot sit down. When they start causing a rule, they will delay. What cause a delay? When the children start wearing the jacket, they say it's troublesome. I'm a supers. Okay? But just start the trouble. I'm a former supers. Just start the behavior at the University of Labrador. Then the school will go on well. Then everything will be well. Pay them the money they request for. If you cannot manage the University of Labrador, then you change the people.
Of course. All right. But you even listen to the comptroller at the university saying that the $1 million that was earmarked in the 2024 budget for the campus renovation was never received.
You see there? Then how will you look? You say we give them money. You are not treating the school like this. This is the school that got the country sitting. And those I don't know you are in a horse there, and the school are you there. You may have gone all of the place to have your education elsewhere, but you got the foundation from here. Just start there. Nobody learn APC from all over the country. You learn your APC from where you go, you were opportunity to go America or anywhere. Just start doing the kind of thing because you have a great problem. Thank you.
Thank you. 0777 700 995 0555 995 995 0778 594 595. Let's hear the scholar. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Fatu.
Can you just stay away from the monitor when you call?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. This is testimony joining you from the nation's capital.
Okay.
Okay, congratulations, man, for your achievement.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Let me say thanks a million to you and the entire workforce of OK for the job you do on a daily basis. But you see, the issue about that university is a foundational issue. I'm not going to blame this government or the WIAS administration. It is a foundational issue because if you want to go on the analysis, before President WIAS came and before President Baka came, there have been a series of allotments being made to the University of Labrador.
Okay.
How were those allotments? How have they impacted the University of Kamara? I think the major thing is our leaders do not have time for that particular university, but it is just impotence that they say they want to see. I'm not blaming the faculty or even the. It is not even about bringing somebody from America to serve as president. No, you can even bring the great Obama down there, or you can even reawaken the great Abraham Lincoln and bring him to the University of Labrador. The fact that the budgetary allotment cannot share the happiness at the University of Labrador, there will always be problem. Problem will continue to exist there. Exist there of excess.
Thank you.
Because the thing is, let me talk. Because if you check even around Baga's government, you found people who attend the university are there. You guys got to pay that with the finance minister. He attended that place before. You guys the PA with the information minister. He attended that place. You guys stand up people with the that's just attended that place before. So what's the issue?
Okay.
So it's foundational. They need to get together and make sure that the university is well funded and rebound the entire university. At least say that close by a year. And bring the entire building and wrap around all the things in the university before you open now.
All right, let's hear the scholar. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu, Abegail, Kamara. And let me say a pleasant good morning to the schools of Labrador and the broadcast this morning.
Okay, let's hear you.
This is the voice of G. Uriah Somerville Jr. and following the show from Kigali, Rwanda.
Okay.
Quickly, Fatu, to the issue of the University of Labrador. Fatu, the government, we'll say the government, most especially, I want to speak to our lawmakers. some of them, the University of Liberia, is their alma mater. Some of them graduated from that university. But Fatu, to be honest, we have so many wasted resources, that could help that university. For instance, there are some lawmakers, that are taking close to 2,000, 3,000 gas slip per month, and some of them, they are just, some of them are 20 minutes away from the Capitol building. Let's take, for instance, the guy who is the representative of District Number 8, he resides, right in, the heart of the city, where you get,
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, my life.
Yeah, you're live. Good morning.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, we have so many wasted resources, and the government need to pay key attention. We have to pay key attention to the University of Liberia. The University of Liberia.
Can you shake up a bit? Hello? Can you shake up a little bit? Yes. Go ahead. Oops, somebody's on the line. Go ahead. Hello?
Yeah, am I okay now?
Yes, you're okay now.
Was I on air before, or should I
Yeah,
pick it from where I started?
Continue from where you stopped.
All right, yeah, thank you. So I was saying that the University of Liberia, is the country's most prestigious university, and the government of the Republic of Liberia need to pay keen attention to.
People should stop calling the local line. Good morning.
Yeah.
You have to
see what I can
speed
shoot
up.
a little bit.
Yeah, you have to speed up a bit because others are on the line.
Okay, yeah. So like I was saying, the issue of education in our country is a major challenge. And that's the reason you see we Liberians, so many Liberians we are running in order to get quality education. How can a university, the country's most prestigious university, have a serious problem with issue of infrastructure? Fatu, here in Uganda, if you see private-owned university, when you go to the place, for some of us that came here, we were shocked that we see a private-owned university looking so decent, everything, everything on course and stuff like that. So the government of Liberia will need to pay keen attention to that. But look at the AB building at Fenio.
Oops, we cannot continue with you because there are a lot of people on the line. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Fatu.
Good morning. Let's hear you. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Fatu?
Yes, you have to speed up.
Fatu?
Others are on the line, please. Can you just wrap it up? Wow. Let's take another caller from the local line. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm just going to
Go ahead.
Yeah, Fatu, I would like to appreciate you for your analysis this morning. As one of the callers rightly said about wasting government is that at least the lawmakers, they have to something that at least they strike car, all the nyama thing, buying car, everything here buying car. I think they need to cut it off so that they can put that money into the university, at least into education as general. Because if they put more money in the education sector, I think our education sector will be good. But if they just continue to their salary is too huge in this country. And one person will be taking $15,000 US. Then the other person is $50,000. How would that be correct for the country? At least as a lawmaker, you should prioritize the citizens. If you prioritize the citizens, I think it will be better. But for me, I blame the lawmakers solely because they are the one that said everything in the country. They set their own budget. They set all other budgets. So that they they should come to set the budget of that the budget of that university. What the people ask for the 7 million, they should give it to them so that the university can be good. This is our prestigious university in the country. If you check in the university in the country, I mean around the world, LeBron, you can find LeBron needs. Why they should do such a thing to our country? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I mean, you call, you stay away from the monitor, man.
Yeah, sure. I'm driving this morning.
Oh, okay.
My name is Thomas Yabawolo, and I call you from Monrovia.
Okay.
You know, it's very exciting to see any kind of news coming from the University of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to be frank with you, if you visit some of the private universities right now in Liberia, the Apex University, formerly the Thomas Fowler University, you see the infrastructure, you see the classroom, how they are well structured. I mean, you wonder why the state-run university looks like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so deplorable. Go visit the graduate school. Fatu, drop at Apex University. You see the classroom there. Go to the University of Nigeria and just go to the graduate school. The classrooms everywhere, the building is not painted as though are we playing fun with education in this country? I feel bad. I mean, I'm in here this, but I don't want to talk much. But let me leave your line. Let other people call. But we're not serious for education in this country. We're not serious for education. We're not serious at all. Are you saying that a man who works in government is more powerful than the entire government of the Republic of Liberia? Are we short of resources? A man working government and accumulate so much money and build a university. You see the university, you say you wonder. But you go to the state-run university, you see it in a very deplorable state. Are we serious in this country? Let me rest this point, Fatu. I'm feeling bad.
But you say you NTS.
Yeah, sure.
So you buy joking me. Okay, bye. It may say NTS. I swear, well, small thing and make some poor crowd. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, let's take this one. Good morning. Good morning, you're live.
Morning.
Can you be attentive, please?
Morning.
You're live on the radio. What's your name?
Good morning. Good morning, Fatu.
Yes, go
and
ahead.
I'm present morning to the listening audience.
Okay.
My name is Prince Nascimento Goto, and I do join this morning from my Taguita, this is my 13th resident.
Mm-hmm.
Where we have a very unfortunate situation currently. One of our brothers started from yesterday from electrical fault, allegedly. So the issue, Fatu. You see, Liberia, our leaders are not doing well for us.
Okay.
Because the University of Liberia should be one of the areas that government should pay most emphasis on in allocating budget, that the well-being of the students at university, because this is the last area that you go to acquire better education so that you live on a profession tomorrow. Unfortunately, I was shocked to listen to the president to know that 100 million were allocated in the budget for University of Liberia, and the university received a dime. So where is this money going?
For renovation.
For renovation. Where are this money going? So it has been a normal routine. One individual will sit in a little corner and will allocate budget for a particular entity, and they take it and use it on different things and leave the institution vulnerable. See what the president was talking about. At that particular university, at that state university, but now you don't have an area where no college should be a stable thing at that particular area. Water should be very, very frequent there. But today, the university they have leakage, no water, no electricity, and our lawmakers and the government, which the one support in the past, the previous one, and the money are being allocated, and the money, we don't know where the money goes. So we are asking our president, yesterday, President Joseph Imambuaka, that wherever that money was, whoever here have been caught in a corridor, that LCD come in and investigate. That $100 million, we don't know where to go. Yes, because this is not what we come to rescue, and this is not a rescue. When we come to rescue, you may make sure that whatsoever that to be done better, it be done in a more accurate way, so that the benefit of the citizen can be what most objective.
Okay.
So that the president will step in and know where the $100 million go. Because we will be raising the alarm, we'll be raising a campaign, we will put in our chat room, party, and we'll make sure that money, anyone who have been caught in, will be brought to public again. Thank you so kindly.
Thank you. 0777-700-995, 0555-995-995, 0778-594-595 are the numbers to call. It's on OK Morning Watch here on OK FM 99.5. Let's hear you. Good morning.
Fatu, good morning.
Good morning.
James Yankwe from Mapale.
Go ahead. Let's
Fatu?
hear.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for the show. For Fatu, I told you this before. There are so many things, Fatu. When I will not the University of Liberia situation, nothing will be done about it. I told you transporting will be black and at the same thing. Fatu, I support all the government, but the thing what the government will tell you, University of Liberia, even the people who are money said nothing, no attitude at all. Most of the students, when you see them, they say even students, they are way of acting, they are way of doing things. The mentality what they get only for themselves. You get that same mentality, you enter at university, and then you can't apply it. You think the people care for that university? But nothing will be done for that university. They will just polish it, will pull it down, will say, oh, you can't go there for that free. But you get your money, go for private university, you go to. University of Liberia, and I even represent Liberia, sir. Don't think about it. The people are teaching there, someone not even represent Liberia. Students they didn't even represent Liberia. So that they come to about university. The same way the university driving in the country are free. Nothing will come from all of it. We just polish it, we put it down. I'm a supporter of the government for that is what we feel on 100%. Nothing. Yeah. We will criticize our own government if they try, if they try. They will not succeed, but when they try to make it a little bit clean, it's okay. But my own day government will fail on it. But that doesn't mean I don't support the government. I support the government, but they will fail on this one. So people should not be coming and say, oh, CDC, and CDC down here, everybody's business. So you should know now. How I see.
But you know how long that building been at that? The CDC, they didn't renovate the building. They want to talk about the other government not doing it.
But and the reason why I say most of them who are saying that they're not representing Liberia, they're not Liberian, and the way they are way of doing things. For example, most of the who are for the era, see they had to do what you get on.
Okay. 0777-700-995, You did not do it. You know, the CDC, that building has been like that since I came to Monrovia, and it's been almost like 6-7 years now. It has been like that. I mean, so it's not something that we should politicize. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure that that building is in a good condition. So I mean, we should not be blaming who did not do it or who did it. If you call and say, oh, the United Party government not doing it, it means you on the other side, and the other side did not do it. So what we should do now is to pressure the government to renovate the building, to make sure that the building is in a good condition. So if you call and say, oh, this rescue government is not doing this and that, no, we're not going to take that from you, because you were there and you did not do it. You have no right to criticize others when you did not do it. We've continued to talk about the deplorable condition of the University of Liberia. This is not just a today topic. We talked about it for a long time. What did you do? Right? So, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, Fatu, how you doing this morning?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Joseph Primo. I joined you from Broadway this morning.
Okay.
You know, Fatu, the issue about the university, I think that's old age problem. Mm-hmm. And our leaders are insensitive to the problem, to the plight of the university. All of them from day one. So I don't want to hear or see somebody will come without no moral standing to criticize the president currently. No, because you came there, you didn't do an inch. You was elected to do this work. You failed to do it. So why are you coming back to say this person is supposed to do it less than 2 years? No, the old age problem. Everybody, all of our leaders are responsible for the problem at the university there.
Yeah.
On a serious note, it's no joke. So the only thing we can say on the radio, we'll get on the platform, we find a solution, we'll bring suggestions to our leaders to implement, to see how better the university can be up to standard. You think normal day, people used to come here to have higher education, normal day, because the way it looks like. But today, we're going to Rwanda, see the guy that called for Rwanda Kigali, trying to press the place. See Ghanaian, see the other country, we're leaving from here going there. Why we can't make allocate enough money to take our university to a higher level, to make it vibrant, to renovate? Why we can't do that? So I think the reason why we must have the legislature responsible, because the reason why they are not taking their children to the university right here, they're taking their children outside because they refuse to allocate enough money to make the university vibrant up to standard like other universities. And they are responsible because they are the ones that are taking the lion's share of the budget. So I think the legislature are responsible. My recommendation to them, when they open by Monday, they must be able to pay attention to that particular building. And this budget year, the budget should raise for the university so the university can be better, so our brother and sister can get higher learning education. Thank you ever so much. But nobody should come without moral standing. You want to put the Baka government up to the spotlight for the university of Liberia. You spent 6 years, you did nothing. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you. 0777 700 995 0555 995 995 778 594 595. Let's hear this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm okay. And you?
Okay. My name is Martin. I call from Benson Street. Am I there? Hello?
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Fatu, the thing is that we should consider it epidemic in the country now. In a sense, the thing that makes us, the university is what makes us in the country. Because if you finish with high school, if you attend university in Liberia, you now know, or any university around here, you now know where. Then why will we treat a state-owned university like this? Government had to pay attention to the university. Don't find a university. Don't find a key for a plain field. Look at the university back here over there. Go over there and enter. You will not compare with our university like Liberia. The setting capacity. Go to the private university around here. Why are we treating our university like this? We call the people, the university churches to be under university, a great university like Liberia. But why is it we can make a university great that people need to come from elsewhere to come here at 10 years? Then that period for and kept like a university about to pre-war status. Where people just run here to go to Super Bowl, go there, Luana. To go there. What happened with our school system?
Okay.
They cut down the hospital budget, leave the university budget, and that the hospital carry down their budget and focus on this one university so it can be vibrant for us.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's hear this caller. Good morning. Good morning. Oops, we lost it. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Morning, Fatu.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Stephen. Yes, and I join you for Bannersfield.
Okay, Stephen.
Yes, Fatu, you were talking about the university, but besides, let's look at the educational sector.
Mm-hmm.
Those that make minister most often are those that own private schools. Fatu, it will surprise you to know that every school year, a school will add when a US they are doing the add 50 out of US graduation, they will add 5,000 at Liberty. But for every time they add school fees, there is no activity, no improvement added to the fees. So it comes down from the high school to the university. The main professor, they came from the University of Liberia and they teaching all of these private universities. Now, their salary temporary at the University of Liberia, money pay cannot be budgeted for, cannot be accounted for. So what are we doing as a people? they think that you know the party CDC. CDC not doing, you know the party not doing. The thing is that we are the people that need to work and make it done. In a sense, we protest for drugs here. Why we can protest for universal library as the people? If they take drugs from your country, you're not educated, how will you work? You gotta be school enough to do the better thing. Trade is better, yes. But make gotta be school in a profession high to take high seat. They make it become a mechanic from the garage. But you need an engineer to build a car. We're protesting for drugs, we're protesting for other things around here. The university, only soup students should come outside. We are the people that own the university, not soup alone, not person alone. So we got to stay as a people. Petition can be carried at the Capitol building as a people. We can stay. But we are sitting around here politicizing the university. We're going in school to go protest for drugs, people making flower money and sell for drugs money. What says it mean? Let's all go outside as a people. Let's stay for the university, not a student alone. Who make lawmakers here yesterday tomorrow for no selling plane. Today they are rich people that are multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Why were we doing at the university? Professors are not taking care of students are not taking care of. Go to the university bathrooms. Look at the science lab. You go there, you find copper in your high institution, university copper. We need to stay. We're protesting for other things around here. What we can protest for university as the people? The police will come and fire them, beat on them. But we get us as a people, the multitude put us up for stupidity to go carry petition. We can use that energy for the university as the people. Thank you, Fatu, for having me.
Thank you so much. 0777 700 995, 0555 995 995, 0778 594 595. What do you expect from the students? You know, they've engaged the government peacefully. The administration engaged the government peacefully about the issue. Okay, nothing's happening. And then you expect somebody who, I mean, I'm not encouraging this thing about, I mean, the hooliganism, you know, I mean, carried out by some of the students there, especially the throwing of stones and at public buildings and a lot of things they do there. I'm not justifying their actions, but what do you expect from people who are angry? Somebody go to school, to university, to spend 4 years. Somebody they spend 10 years in one university just to get one degree, and it's not their fault. Not because they don't want to go to school or they did not go to the classroom, only because there are issues. The faculty or the teachers, professors are not receiving their salaries, or because of the condition of the building. Somebody go to school, they use the bathroom, they get sick, they'll have to stay at home for some time. What do you expect from people who are very angry, these people? So like one caller saying maybe Liberians should get up again and go protest like they did for a peaceful march, like they did for the march against drugs, right? Maybe citizens should start to think about that, because this is the state-run University of Liberia, and it seems like we're taking it as a joke, right? The administration requesting for so and so amount, 41 million. Okay, you say, okay, we will slash it to 33 million. What do you expect? It's just like your wife say she won't cook certain soup, and you requesting she pour fish, she pour meat, she pour everything, and the money she requesting, maybe she requested $10 or $15, and you said no, I get it, I get $5. You expect her to pour all that thing in the soup again? You're joking, right? So there's the same thing we're talking. Let's give what the university is requesting, and see if all of the maintenance and renovation and salary payment, if they are not addressed, then we can come back and talk about what's happening. Maybe I'm not disagreeing that there should be audit. We all should know what happens with the money or the funds that that are allocated to the University of Liberia. It's important we all know what is really happening there. But again, this is what the university is requesting to solve all of the problems they have there. To address the issues, the challenges the university is facing. But he said, no, we cannot give this amount. But okay, the government is able to renovate the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, the Ministerial Complex, and other agencies, right? What about the ministry, the University of Liberia? What's big? What is different? When this should be a priority. 0777-700-905. We take a few more calls and take a break. At 9 o'clock, our guest will be in here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Kamara.
Go
my
ahead.
name is Prince. Prince Bama. I do join you from my history resident.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to commend you for the level of preference and clarity bring to the discourse, because the issue we are discussing is a national issue. It's not an issue that based on politics.
Mm-hmm.
And your level of clarity is something that is welcoming. But some of our brothers see the issue as a political issue. The University of Liberia been having a problem from the back of ages. It's not dealing with the government currently. I saw you being expressing.
Yeah.
But I'm a student of the University of Liberia. But time in time, we have sat for 7 months, 8 months, even if we are administration. Sometimes we sat up for 8 months, we are going to school. So I saw you being expressing. So you cannot limit it to back led government. Something that is national. Thank you, man, for the clarity. I do appreciate you.
Thank you. 0777 700 995 0555 995 995 0778 594 595 is the female line. Good morning. What?
Good morning. Good
Yes,
morning.
go ahead. Can you just stay away from the monitor when you call?
Okay, thank you. My name is Frank Suku, and I called from Painesville. I think the problem of the UL is in another dimension that I think the country, especially the leadership, needs to look at. One, around the world, it will interest you to know that no university student paying 3,000 LD to go to school, and you think you're going to have education that is going to be a quality education. How can you run a university where a student pay 3,000 LD, 4,000 LD to go to school? The Kamara University people mentioning, people are paying $15 per credit, so they use the money to pay teachers. They use the money to run the university. Equally so, you all need to step up. Education is not cheap. We need to educate our people. That there's nothing called free education. People need to pay good money to go to school, set a standard, use the money on a 50-50 ratio where the government provides for the. No. That's not what I'm saying. In Rwanda, the people they're not going to school. In Sierra Leone, they're not going to school for Abegail University, paying 3,000 in cities. People should pay for it. This is why the government needs to create. An urban environment where parents will work, have jobs, and be able to pay their children fees. Because if you have a university where you're paying 4,000 LD for students to go to school, what do you expect? Do you expect quality education? Do you expect university to be renovated? The government, the envelope is very small. The envelope can't do much. So if the government is providing 50% support to the university, 50% should be from tuition and other fees to run the university. Help pay teachers, subsidize teacher payment, help renovate the university, bathroom, put water, and all that kind of stuff. You cannot have 3,000 LD per student to go there.
So do you agree with me? Hello. Do you
ahead.
agree with me that there are some students who cannot even afford that $15 or $3,000 or whatever amount they're paying there? Do you agree with me that some students struggle to get that amount of money?
That's what I'm saying to you. I'm saying to you, to solve that problem, from the end, the government. Press in the past. I'm saying to you, the style of the government is
government needs to create an open working environment where parents will work, have jobs, to be able to pay their children's school fee to go to school. The university needs to run, and the government, the envelope so small, cannot take care of all the university problems. Trust me, government cannot take care of everything. 41 million, 50 million, government cannot do all. So if the school itself was running itself on a 50% ratio, plus a money collected from tuition and other fees, will help the university take care of other areas. But if you have students paying
But it
2,000
still comes
LD,
back to the government. Okay.
the
Thank
government to create every environment where people will work, parents will work and pay their children's fees. Look at, for instance, you have the people should not take government school to be after against dumb people. No. All around the world, government schools are the best schools. And how do you make it the best school? Go right for Abegail. Who paying $3,000 to go to school? Korea and they go, who paying that kind of money and 3,000 cities to go to school? And you think you're going to get quality education? And people keep playing government back and forth. People need to own up to the university. The people need to look at university law. We have to set a standard. Nobody doesn't have a standard.
Okay, thank you so much.
Don't talk so and talk so, man.
Thank
it's
you.
It's simple. Our
so
like balance. Don't talk so and talk so.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. So, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that citizens, Liberian students, have access to education. It is the government's responsibility. This is why you elect them, right? So there are a lot of people who cannot afford the $15. You're talking about $15 USD to pay. You've not seen the condition of some people in Liberia. You've not seen it. When you go out of Monrovia, not even out of Monrovia, right in Monrovia, and see how people are struggling to survive. This is why some people even decide not to send some of their children to school, and maybe just few sometimes send the boys to school and the girls remain. You sit down because the parents cannot even afford to send all of the children to the University of Liberia to even pay the tuition you're talking about. Does that mean they should not go to school because they're not paying so and so amount to the institution or the University of Liberia? That's what I'm saying. Some people cannot afford that money you're talking about. Some people cannot afford. It's a good step. Free education. Affordable education for Liberians, for students. So it means that some students should sit down. If you can't afford to pay, you should sit down to your house. In the meantime, while other parents do not have the job he's talking about, their children should go to school, right? So I like the way you say we should talk it so and talk it so. Fine, we should talk it so and talk it so. But the other side we're talking about, we have to be clear that we all have the right to go to school. You have the right to education. So that little amount people pay is even a huge amount for some people. So the government should sit down and cross their arms because people are paying small amount to the University of Liberia. No, I'm not sure that should be any justification for any, the government not doing much to give access, to give the access, to good education to Liberians, to students. I mean, it's most of the times when you're talking these things and you have people who have different opinions, it makes it difficult to discuss because people will say it this way. People think that you should not blame the government, that you should blame the administration or the University of Liberia. Other people think, it's the government. Other people think that parents are not doing well. Too many people will say different things, but the fight is, it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that Liberian children have access to education. It is a responsibility, right? That's why you elected people. 0777 700 995, 0555 995 995, 0778 594 595. Let's take this caller. We take 3 more and take a very short break. Our guests are already here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, you're live. Let's hear you.
How are you this morning?
Yeah.
I'm T. Wilson Soli. I call you from the township.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the universal library is a talking point now that people are dealing with. But you see, let me say something. I think that university should not be named University of Liberia. It should have been named University of Maserati County, because when they built our university or the framework, at that time, Maserati was not populated. And it accommodated 30 people in the university. But nowadays, our little ones are graduating from high school at the ages of 14, 15, 13. What we have? So the university is densely populated. There is an old age problem. As one guy said, we should not politicize the university.
Yeah.
We should all come together and see how best we can amicably resolve the university. Look at the campus of the university. It's our university. Oh, I can run around our university about 5 times. I won't get tired. Look, man, let the government. I'm not even talking about the part of government, all of the government, but especially the presidents who are there in the country, the ex-president. Let it join their hands together with the current president and see how best they can come with ideas and ideologies to see how we can go to building our institution for our later ones, because they're getting so many. Just imagine if they are graduated, where are they going? Most of them still like to retire after graduation from universities. So my recommendation is that I listen to the honorable senator. I was still who beautiful that spoke last night, and he is trying to tell the finance minister, most especially the minister of finance, to make available, I think, 2 hours taxing that the university ultimately need not. Let it do it. If not, then it is essential at the regulator. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We take this last caller and
okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, you're live.
Fatu, I'm
confused. I think I have 2 persons on the line. Good morning. Okay.
Yeah.
Fatu, one of the quarter you're very steady, right? The University of Liberia, the situation is not the cause of the University of Liberia being that way, right? Fatu, there are people on that campus, as you rightly said, there are people on that campus that even the $15 that they are requesting for move cannot pay.
Okay.
But you go on that campus and in the afternoon at school order that you see people saying that back, you say, come here, compare notes. Come here, not observe.
Okay.
So people go on that campus, they drink water. They use about the increase tuition. They want the people that they cannot pay. That are not the cost of the university bender. That is very bender. That's a record ages. So when the type of renovation, we can't be talking about because they're not paying a higher money than what they cost. I just called the department for him. That's just I do.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, we're going for this break. We're not taking any more calls. We go for this very short break to be right back. When we come back, we'll usher in our guest. Let's go for this break.
Found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in. Follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, darling, just is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this, darling. You look perfect tonight.
We have 1 minute. In 1 minute, climbing up to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, we're going to usher in our guest. So, so we want to make some clarity. Some of the callers, said that the University of Liberia, the FQ building on Capitol Hill, received money from Firestone, for renovation of the building. So we've received communication from the University of Liberia that it is not true. At no time the university or the FQ building on Capitol Hill received money from Firestone for renovation. So we want to make that clarity. Perfect. Ed Sheeran.
Darling, just dive right in, follow my lead.
I found a girl, beautiful and sweet.
Beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone.
I've never knew you were the someone waiting for me. So baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you,
not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, darling. Just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine.
So shortly we're going to usher in our guests. Keep your dialogue down. The time is 9 o'clock. My name is Fatu Kamara. Keep your dialogue down. Let's take this very short break to usher in our guests.
Barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future in your eyes, baby. I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark.
So welcome back. Our guests are already in the studio. We have with us this morning Mr. Hassan Bilidi, Director, Global Justice and Research Project, Adama Dempster, National Secretary General, CSO, Human Rights Advocacy Platform of Liberia, and Anthony Stephens, Assistant Editor and Senior Justice Correspondent at New Narratives. So, good morning. We join our guest. Good morning. We start with Anthony. You're using Mark 2. Good morning, Anthony. Welcome.
Good morning, Fatu. Good morning to your listeners.
Good morning, Mr. Dempster.
Good morning, Fatu.
Good morning, Mr. Bility.
Good morning.
Okay, you could just adjust the microphone at your convenience. Bring it up to you.
Good morning.
Okay. Thank you. Anthony.
The fourth person should have joined us, but he's got a family emergency, so he can't be here this morning, Councillor Konglo. But we are all happy to be here. Please go on.
So we start with the establishment of the anti-corruption court, versus the war crimes court, which is the focus of our topic. There is an ongoing debate about the setting up of the National Anti-Corruption Court instead of the War and Economic Crimes Court. What are the risks or challenges do you see in that approach? So we'll start with you, Mr. Dempster.
Okay, I'm glad to be on the show this morning, and of course, we bring you greetings from the human rights community, civil society, and transitional justice sector. The question around efforts to establish accountability on two jurisdictional issues, that is the anti-corruption court and the war crimes court. So, fortunately for me, I campaigned for war crimes.
Okay.
And for the record, from the human rights-based approach and transitional justice background, that is what we pretty much work on for many years now. And that led to the establishment of the office that is tasked with the responsibility to establish, to ensure the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. So what I would say is that we applaud the government for having taken up the time to show political will for the establishment of the War Crimes Court.
Okay.
This is one area that we fought for many years. Two successive governments, it was not successful. And it is under the Unity Party government that we're seeing that happening. So moving forward, from the transitional justice standpoint, we think that all issues that are borders around transitional justice should be treated under the framework that has to do with the establishment of a war crimes court. So war crimes court should be priority number one, because the office itself that is being established is purposely established to ensure the establishment of war crimes court. So anything that has to do or attached to that office will be secondary, but not the war crimes court. So we want to say that the war crimes court should be priority number one, and henceforth. On the other end, I think the government is making progress on the fight against corruption, and there are pretty much 5 or more than 5 anti-graft organizations or agencies in country. So that has to do with the LACC, the GSC, the IA8, and you have the Access Recovery, the Ombudsman, and PPCC. These are all anti-graft organizations. So we think that they are all headed by lawyers, competent lawyers, qualified lawyers, and they have the expertise. So rather than putting all of the energy of establishing an anti-corruption code within the confines of the office to establish a war crimes court, that task should be given to those anti-graft organizations, because they pretty much work around those issues. So that it enables the office of the war crimes, establishment of a war crimes court, to primarily focus on the establishment of the court, because we don't have time in our favor. And we are operating on executive order. An executive order is being renewed after the first year, expired the second year. We want to make sure that this happens in this second phase of the executive order, so that it enables us to present a draft legislation to the national legislature to be passed into law to enable us to have the court established. These are things that we want to put forward, and from the civil society background, human rights, transitional justice is what we want to see happen, as fast as possible.
Okay. You want to add up?
Yeah. Thanks to you, and thanks to New Narrative, and thanks to the listeners. I think I concurred with Mr. Dempster with respect to choice, preference. It looks to me, choosing economic crimes over war crimes in terms of start. It looks to me that it is a negation of the raison d'etre, for the campaign that was launched many years ago. It was primarily focused on war crimes, murders committed during the 2 Liberian civil wars. Of course, economic crimes will have to be prosecuted, and there are other things. But the priority to prove that we're serious, it has got to start with war crimes court. I do not know the reason for which economic crimes was preferred to war crimes, but as I may assume that it was because of money, but I believe the Liberian government, there are many other ways to generate funding. In addition, funding from the international community, donor organizations, to fund the office. The office, realistically, and to be honest, does not have money. That is the fact. Okay?
What are some of those ways?
What are some of what?
Those ways you think they can get the funding?
The government should be able to prioritize these prosecutions over some other issues. Say, for example, you have government ministers, government lawmakers making a lot of money. And those lawmakers, I believe that many of them do want prosecution. Many of them do want accountability for the murders that were committed, the slaughters that were committed. So why not cut maybe 20%, 30% of your salary? This is a decision that only they can make, not us. And then, let me tell you this. The international community is a little bit reluctant because they want to see the government of Liberia putting more first, not just 2 million or 3 million. This is the fact. I just returned from Europe, where I attended the Universal Periodic Review on Liberia, the UPR, and I also did attend the European Union delegation meeting in the run-up to the UN General Assembly meeting in this month, September. There were many issues discussed there. All countries were there, but I did not see any representative from the Liberian government. Maybe, just maybe, the office should have had somebody there, or the Independent National Human Rights Commission should have had somebody there to make some case for Liberia. We did try, but we did not go there as representative of the government of Liberia. So in terms of prioritization, with prioritizing the prosecution of economic crimes, appears like we are not serious. And as I've always said, this is going to be one of the legacies of President Joseph Boakai. I think he should personally take charge in terms of sponsoring and or supporting, funding the court. The president should open a direct communication with the office that is tasked with the responsibility to, build the court, establish a court. This is a fact. Otherwise, it is going to be very difficult. I have to make this last point. At the moment, we cannot count 100% on certain countries. For example, the United States. The United States has changed its priorities. So there are countries in Europe who are also willing to fund. I cannot disclose those names right now.
Okay.
But some of those countries did make promises in person to us that as long as the Liberian government shows commitment, and one of such commitments was to start the prosecutions, to start to start with prosecuting war crimes.
Okay.
Because those are international crimes. Economic crimes, well, those are generally Liberia's own business, right? But war crimes are international crimes.
Okay, thank you. What model of the War and Economic Crimes Code is being considered for Liberia war crimes prosecution?
Yeah, let me just quickly chip in there. We think I do not know specifically what would become a reality, but we support a Sierra Leone styled court, a hybrid court, Liberian and international lawyers, of course, and judges as well. That's what we support. We also do support most of the role being played and led by Liberians themselves, right? But to give it, to make it look fair, it's not it's not the only thing that is important. It has to appear to people, funders, to look very transparent as well. That's right. The transparency of everything with the court is very cardinal. Okay. A Belgian diplomat told me before, last week when I was in Geneva, that the court, that in his opinion, that the court should work. Now, that was a statement that can be interpreted variously and or differently.
Okay.
The court should work.
Okay.
It depends on the Liberian government.
Okay.
Has the Liberian government made any specific request to any specific government? The government led by the president, right? So these are stuff that are very important, and I think that the creation, the style called the hybrid court, this is what we support, and this will lend a lot more credence to the work of the court.
Let's come to Mr. Densto. Yes. This issue of funding, for the establishment of the court, looking at the international aid courts now to Liberia. What do you think?
There are many recessions that have taken place around the world, which are obviously undermine funding source for these kind of processes. So what I do know is that, like Hassan has said, the U.S. right now is silent about supporting. We actually knew in past that the U.S. government was supporting 100% until the change of government now, and we are still anticipating that maybe there could be a change in between. The U.S. is a big supporters of justice, international justice, until now that the narrative have changed. But we are still hopeful and thinking that things could shape around. But funding for the court will also be interested to many international based on the costing, because if you are overly ambitious about the court, then it raises eyebrows as well. So this is where we are saying that this is the time that the technical work starts, and this is the time that the technical work should be prioritized so that we start to do a research on different mechanisms around the world. So like Central African Republic, if you go back to Central African Republic, we have actually worked and research around them. Their budget is around 5 million. You understand? The special code for the Special African Central African Republic. Then, unlike the Special Code of Sierra Leone, and at the time Special Code of Sierra Leone was operating, it's been many years now, over 20 years. What's happening right now, very happening at the time. So you have pretty close to almost $300 million that was spent on the Special Code of Sierra Leone, but things have changed in between. And what will also help for funding to be more efficient is as a result of the human resource personnel that will be serving within a court. Because if you go to work and bring too many internationals, that's one area that takes away more money. So you want to have a court that will not be overly, ambitious. Then of course you have many employees, and maybe you're not managing how the court processes are. Then it makes it difficult. But we are short and continue to hold conversation with international community, and some of what we draw the interest around money will also depend on the prioritization of the establishment of the court. So it is international related, so the international issue have to be prioritized. But if you prioritize the national anti-corruption court, which is a national issue, it give a core fit to the international community. So funding around the Europeans, the UK, they are all concerned about putting in some sort of support. These are conversations we are having. There is no specific promise made now, but based on the conversation we're having, these are areas that funding will come from. But it depends on the model, the size of the court, the manpower of the court, and the activities of the court will actually give a picture. So this is why we need to draw a framework, a Scarlington framework, and then attach a cost to it. And it is based on the cost that we can sell the proposal to see where fundings come from. But we are aware that the issue of justice, pursuits for justice are costly, and there are countries that are willing to invest and put money into it. But first of all, the government of Liberia needs to show, to an extent, more political will when it comes to supporting the process. So these are things that will also attract the internationals to put more money into it. Technical support, manpower, these are things that come along with, supporting the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court.
Okay, now let's come to Anthony. You, from the media background. Firstly, let's look at New Narratives as the senior justice correspondent of New Narratives. What is New Narratives first? What does New Narratives stand for?
Thank you, Fatu. So New Narratives is an investigative newsroom. We fund independent journalism. We are funded largely by the Swedish government for this work process. Work is one economic crimes court. And at the moment we are in 4 countries: Liberia, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. We empower local newsrooms, local journalists to be able to do independent reporting. You are one of the journalists in the program, and you've been attending our work trainings, our work workshops, and you were also in South Africa in 2023, and you did a reporting there on the transitional justice process there. The goal is to make sure that more journalists are armed with the information, have the requisite training, skill, and experience to be able to report on the process of the court. Because these advocates come in the studio to talk. Your job or our job is to be able to give the public the information that the public deserves. If the journalists don't get it right, the court does not succeed. We are not advocates. We do not advocate for the court. Hassan, Adaman, Councillor Gonglo, and others are advocating for the court to be established. Our role is to make sure that all sides are given equal access to our platforms. We give victims the platform for the voices to be heard. We give accused perpetrators the same platform for their voices to be heard. If Mr. Dempster and Mr. Benedict make accusations against accused perpetrators, our role is to make sure that we hear from them as well. It's not to just take anything that they say and say, well, that's what they've said, and that becomes final. So we want to jealously guard this process to make sure that the public gets the best. There's so much disinformation out there. There's misinformation as well out there about this process. That's why we embarking on these workshops, on these panels. We began or resumed the panels last week when we this week when we had the first show on Classic FM that is heard in a range of counties, including Mangibi, Grand Bassa, Bapudu, and Bon counties. And now we are on OKFM. You are widely listened to. The most recent survey showed that you are the most listened to radio station in Liberia. So we want to reach different audiences, different people, different individuals, different groups, so that the public gets to know what this whole process is all about. I'm sure we'll dive further into the misinformation and disinformation about the process, but that's who we are. New Narratives. We fund independent journalism. We support independent journalism. We want the journalists to be empowered with the skills, with the experience, with the knowledge to be able to objectively report on the process.
Okay.
Can I just chip in on the cost of the court? Quickly, well, Sierra Leone, the special court for Sierra Leone cost a lot more money because there were persistent security issues at the time. Many of the culprits still had their command and control chains still existed and a little bit active. So it happened immediately after the war, so they still had command and control over their men. For example, even in 2004, an American retired military officer, John Humphrey, was murdered at the Mamba Point Hotel. Right. The same night I returned from the United States. So if some friends thought it was I who was murdered, God forbid. So it's going to be this one. It's been about 20-something years, So our estimate is between $40 to $50 million. $40 to $50 million. So people should not assume that it's going to be like $1 billion, 100 million, 100 plus. No, that's the fact. And you look at donor fatigue. There is reluctance on the part of many donor countries to pump in a lot of money on these issues. We ourselves should prioritize it.
Why?
So we should prioritize the funding issues. Now, if we put in, say, for example, 10 million, another country could come and put in maybe 15 million or maybe 5 million, so on and so forth, right? But no country just want to give like 100,000 because they know for a fact that it's not going to be helpful, very helpful. I personally, therefore, call on President Boakai to take personal responsibility of this, establish a smooth chain of communication between his office and that office, the Office to Create War and Economic Crimes Court. This is very, very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's look at some of the recommendations, from the TRC. One of those were, reparations. Okay. What exactly do we mean by reparations? And also, let's look at transitional justice, and why is it important for both the media and the public to understand these?
Okay, so reparation is one of the principles or elements of transitional justice.
Okay.
But transitional justice is a process that has to do with addressing past human rights violations that is in the past, and of moving towards establishing a process or mechanisms that investigate and tend to address the issues that happen during conflict. And out of that, there are different principles within transitional justice: reparation, the issue of accountability, the memorialization, truth-telling, and of course, to an extent, it also has to do with the Palawa Hawk program as well, Palawa Hawk process, where you bring communities together, the victims and perpetrators, with on the scene, maybe structured to hear from them. And the truth-telling aspect is admittance, where an accused or alleged perpetrator will admit to his or her act, and then seek for forgiveness, apologize, and in that process, it can be emotional, but it gave room for acceptance as well, where it allows society to move forward. So these are all important elements around transitional justice.
Okay.
And when civil war was fought, a conflict broke out, the atrocities are recorded, and of course, those who committed the atrocities, they are listed. The victim community is also identified. The level of infrastructure, destruction also, documented. And along the way to address them is what is being summarized in the TRC report on the transitional justice. So the key elements of the transitional justice, which is reparation, you did talk about. Reparation comes from the word that has to do with repair.
Okay.
Reparation is basically repairing the destruction, the harm, the suffering the victims or the survivors went through during the conflict, the armed conflict. Because the society and the people cannot be held responsible for the war. Though they are architects of war, who sponsor war, who organize the war. But when they were organizing the war, they did not consult the people, the citizens were. We got up one morning, December 24th, 1989, boom, there's a rebel incursion from Nima County, Butu. Citizens are like, what's happening? People were new to war, to the extent that people start clapping, they wanted to see the rebels. But they did not know that the rebel that people were cheering to see that, were going to turn things chaotic. So in the context of moving away from the civil war atrocities, we have to repair the damages that took place, the harm and the injury that were inflicted on the people, especially the women.
Okay.
Child soldiers that were recruited at the time, most of whom have turned into adult or active youth today. What were the processes, what were the efforts that were being made to address what was damaged as a result of the Civil War?
Okay.
So other transitional reparation, there are 5 key principles you want to look at. The first one has to do with restitution. Can we restitute what was taken away from the society? These are the era of repairing. A lot of things were taken away from the society. Some of the things that were taken away from the society has to do with the dignity. Human dignity was destroyed because in any given society, a civilized society, however you call it, the issue of the citizens, their right, their livelihood, their well-being, when you take those things away from them, you destroy them. So we have to restitute to make sure that it is being put back, to bring the society back to the stage it was before the Civil War. And these are things that is on us, it's on the government now. We have to fight to make sure that that happens for Liberia, where people will forget about the past and move on with their life. Another aspect has to do with compensation. There were people who were well off. They have good wealth. They were well positioned. There were good employment. There were great companies around the country. And people's life were moving forward in a more beautiful way. They had great income. But as a result of the Civil War, they lost everything. We saw the widespread of looting that took place in this country. We saw how people lost their wealth and became nobody in the society. Is there a way that we can compensate them? And of course, communities were destroyed. Church buildings, school buildings were broken down as a result of the Civil War. Can the government put money forward to be able to build those infrastructures that were destroyed during the Civil War? Those are some of the compensation for community-level reparation program that need to be considered. So when we're talking about compensation, it has to do with money, it has to do with materials. That is straight. You can bend on it. Then the issue of rehabilitation. As a result of the Civil War, there were too many trauma. And the trauma still extends to today, where people have not recovered as a result of the Civil War For every time people will say, oh, before the Civil War, Liberia was like this. And then, well, because of the Civil War, Liberia had turned into what it is right now. So look at what's happening with the George War. So one of the key conversation or debate that also, point to the drug war right now, it comes from the Civil War. Because they use drugs to get child soldiers to be brave. Once they take the drugs, they are brave to go on the front line to do what they have to do. So that one of the areas that we also need to talk about, where the drug war, is on right now, you need to trace it back to the history of the Civil War. So there is a whole lot of rehabilitation, psychosocial support need to be given to society. It's very important. Victims, there are women who were raped multiple times. And the people who raped them, they are still around. For every time they see them, what comes to the mind is something that we have not repaired. Another component has to do with satisfaction. So when you're talking about repair, all of the different elements that are used to repair, in the context of reparation, you need to be very keen about them. Satisfaction is one aspect. And this aspect of satisfaction has to do with acknowledging the wrong that was done. Liberians, the government, not only the government alone, churches, other sectors within the country, we all need to acknowledge that the Civil War, the two civil wars that were fought in Liberia, did nothing good for Liberia, but rather put Liberia backward.
Okay.
So in the context of satisfaction, when we acknowledge that, the war did not benefit Liberia, then of course, what do? It's followed by the symbolic aspect that has to do with public apologies. When we accept and know that these things were not right for the society, what do we do to move forward? We apologize. You apologize, and then in that context, you move to non-recurrence. That is the deterrent aspect. You cannot implement reparation without addressing the aspect that have to do with deterrence. That is, people have to be held accountable. The people who waged the war on the people who committed the atrocities have to be held accountable. We have to send a message out there that Liberia will no more go to war. And in the context of not going back to war, we must be able to hold people and bring people to justice so that it serves as a deterrent that no new group of people will go back into the bush and take up arms despite of that dissatisfaction or their political interest to wage war on the country anymore.
Okay, Anthony, let's come to you. From the media, why do you think it is important, that the media understand these terms, especially reparation? Why do you think it's important?
It's very important, but before directly answering your question, I just want to weigh in on a little bit on what Adam has said. And we've been reporting that in our reporting, new narratives, the President Walker did apologize, and he did also have a memorial service. There was a memorial service for some people killed during the war, and also he also did announce a war memorial for victims of the war and the peacekeepers who died during the wars. All of that part of what Mr. Timster was talking about. But yes, it's very important because, like I mentioned earlier, our role is very critical to this process. The advocates will say what they want to say. If we do not drive the narrative, if we do not drive the conversation, if we do not drive the key issues that need to be talked about, the public gets lost, and then the appetite will dampen for the process, for the court, and then it leaves room for misinformation and disinformation. So that's why we are doing these training programs across the country. We've resumed the training. We held the first one for this year, for the current year of after May, if you will. The first one in August. That was last month. We're going to have another one soon in Bombay County, and you and others are in the chat room that we've created for the journalists that we've been training. There's a segment for us to do these training exercises every time, and because when we take these experts to the counties, they talk about the issues that the journalists need to know. You don't need to know all the legal issues that we put about the war crimes court process. You need to get your fast word. You need to know the basics about journalism. But of course, you need to know some of the basic issues about what war crimes are, what war crimes what are the elements of crimes against humanity. I mean, there's a debate as to whether we had genocide in Liberia, but you need to know all of these constituent elements of the crime as recorded in law, so that you are armed with the information, so that when you go to, for example, an accused person, and the person is trying to steal the microphone, as you say, trying to steal your time and just talk, you are able to erect the necessary legal, the necessary checkpoints, intellectual checkpoints, so that the person does not say whatever he or she wants to say to you without being fact checked. That's very important for our role. The public relies on the media so much. If you ask the ordinary citizens down the street now, how did they know, for example, that they're talking about war crimes? How on Fatu then showing Fatu not discussing it, or Clarence then or Julius then were on the air the other time they had Hassan Pelete and they were talking about it, Councillor Gonglo then. But that's how the people get to know, or maybe they see it in the newspapers, or sometimes they see it on Facebook. And you know, the media is a very powerful tool that can be used in this process. All countries that have succeeded with their court processes have had the media involved, and no group of people, in our view, would better tell the story about the Liberian court process than Liberian journalists.
Can I add this real quick? Okay, I think this is a very important question. I come from the media background. I used to be editor-in-chief of the Analyst newspaper.
Okay.
And of course, what they call the PL stuff, media law, as well as that. I also used to be press officer of the European Union, EU. Now, it is very important because we do not have a wider reach of audience like you do. So what you say, people take. How many people see me per day? How many people listen to me or read my Facebook page? This is why it is very important. Now, war crimes. I have listened to many people, and the definitions they gave just scare a lot of people. First, I want to make it clear. War crimes can never be committed if there is no war. It is therefore defined legally as violations of international humanitarian laws during armed conflict. Crimes against humanity is different. It is defined as a widespread or systematic attack against a civilian population. It occurs during wartime and during peacetime. That is also different from genocide. Genocide, the crime of genocide does not depend on how many persons you kill. It generally depends on one thing, intent. Thus, it is defined the intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a group of people based on 1, religion, 2, ethnicity, 3, nationality, or 4, race. So you can kill 10 persons. For example, I come from Nima County. I'm from Saglipi, Mon County District, Nima County. And then you plan to kill, for example, Manos, Gios, and Mandingos from Nima, but you only succeed in killing 5. It's not looking at the outcome, how many you killed. It will intend to prove whether this was an intent that you created to do it. Thus, it can qualify for genocide. Therefore, for journalists to understand the difference or the differences, it's very important. Wars are not war crimes. Wars are not war crimes. War crimes, I've just defined them. What one does during the conduct of a war is what that can constitute war crime or war-related crimes. This is very important. Second, not everybody who fought war during the 2 Liberian civil wars will be prosecuted. Okay. There are less than 200 persons, probably 116 or some
yes,
persons.
116.
You understand? And many of those people have died. I want to send out this caveat to the listeners. Do not allow the contaminated renegades of the old political order, whose bags of exhausted and unmarketable political tricks ran Liberia to ruination today, to put you to pick up any gun or to pursue any course of violence. This is very, very important. First, know that they do not have the capacity to make war. Nobody has the capacity. Do not depend on Sierra Leone. Do not depend on Guinea. Do not depend on Ivory Coast. The reason is simple. There was an extraterritorial exportation of the two Liberian civil wars into those countries, killing their people. They do not want it anymore. Some of them set up war crimes called held people accountable. For example, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire. So it is important. Do not be afraid. Do not allow these political leaders who are linked to this to push you into destabilizing this country. I have confidence in the security forces, and I believe that nobody can make war.
Okay. So, Anthony, if you can remember, during our interview with Dali Tambo, he talked about, those who committed war crimes. A lot of those people are now influential people. Either they've held positions or they hold influential positions in the country. And he talked about prosecuting these people would lead to other destabilizing the country. How does the court navigate this resistance, without destabilizing the country? Because these people have people who are following them, they have the influence. Adama, I think maybe you can address that.
Yeah, so Anthony can come back, but I wanted to close up on the important aspect of the reparation, because reparation cannot just be concluded without addressing the core issues that the TRC put lay out. So if you go back to unfortunately, the TRC did not give a defined or clear definition for a victim, who a victim is. So that's something that needs to be looked at, because that will qualify who should get reparation. Though individual reparation is presumed as being expensive, but in the context of even paying for medical support, cost, it need to be made clear. So in the TRC report, the TRC recommended $500 million to be spent within a period of 30 years to deal with all of what has to do with reparation as a result of the two Liberian Civil War, $500 million. So, but that money will have to go through a trust fund that is established under a reparation commission, that you have that commission to be able to do a profiling of who a victim, direct victim or indirect victim, or who are those that will qualify for reparation. And of course, looking at the different communities and communities that were greatly impacted by the Civil War, so that they were designed a program or designed support for those communities that were affected as a result of the Civil War. I just wanted to put it that way. Like in Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone did a reparation program, though at the time they actually gave like $3.5 million, because the Sierra Leone War, the threshold of death at the time was around 50,000 or a little over 50,000. So in order to deal with the reparation program, though they were looking up to the international community, but the government were able to put forward, you call a seed fund as a way of telling the international community that we are taking responsibility, we are owning this process, we want you to help us, this is what we want to put forward to start the entire process with. So that started the reparation program in Sierra Leone. And that can also be going along with while we are working towards establishing the War Crimes Code. So we don't have to wait for the code to be established before that happens. And when the code is established and prosecution takes place, conviction is done, maybe some of the people like when you're talking about privileged people, they are aware of, they have money, and it is established that they are guilty, sentenced, their wealth and some of that money can be used to even pay for reparation. That the resources or some money from them that they accumulate as a result of the Civil War can be directed to their victims or people who they, because of their action, created them to made them to be victims as a result of the Civil War. I just wanted to put this out so that's a way of clearing up and then making sure that reparation is seen not just as another difficult component of the TRC recommendation going forward.
Okay.
I know you will go to I know you will go to the lands to take course, but I want to make 2 points here. One, as we talk about the courts. First, is we're talking about two courts, but the emphasis of the guests is on the War and Economic Crimes Court, and it's important for us to explain to the public the jurisdictions of these two courts.
Okay.
The War and Economic Crimes Court should look at crimes committed from 1989 to 2003.
Okay.
The National Anti-Corruption Code, which will be a domestic code, so the War Crimes Code or the War and Economic Crimes Code will be a hybrid code, as you've heard the advocates talking about, and that's been part of the reporting we've done. In fact, one of the stories we did on this was done last year, and then we spoke to key experts who have worked on other courts in other countries, Cambodia, Sierra Leone, the Gambia currently, and they were saying approximately it could be between $40 to $60 million for the court, but so that code, the One Economic Crimes Code, the jurisdiction will be from 1989 to 2003. Why? Because before 1989 we had not had any war. So the war, like you heard Mr. Abegail saying, war crimes only happen when there are wars. So the War and Economic Crimes Code will have that jurisdiction. The National Anti-Corruption Code, which is also the other code that the Office for War and Economic Crimes Code is working towards ensuring that its legislator will have a jurisdiction from 1979 to present. So it continues. It will continue up to present. It's important for the public to know these things because it's also important for us as journalists to know these things because the public does rely on us wholeheartedly for what we say and how we report on these matters. As it relates to your question about some people are holding key positions. In fact, you mentioned Daddy Tammo. I need to say to the public that Daddy Tammo is the son of Oliver Tammo, an iconic anti-apartheid freedom fighter in South Africa. Yes, we did speak to him in 2023 when we went to his house. The team, the entire NNT New Narratives team. And yes, he did bring that question about, and it still does persist in our society today. Some people who are accused of perpetrating crimes are holding key positions. But it's important for us as journalists to say that they are accused because they haven't been found guilty. One of the things that has always come about when we're holding our panels and trainings is that people have always said, but these people are named in the TRC report, so don't give them positions, or they are named in the TRC report, they are indicted. So why allow them to hold key positions in the government? Why can they be denied from holding positions? It's important for us as journalists to also play a neutral role and to also educate the public that first, the TRC was never a grand jury. So on our Liberian legal system, it is the grand jury that indicts, right? If that means the prosecutors, sorry, I'm going to a little bit of law, but it's important for the public to know this, that the prosecutors go to the grand jury and say, we have these charges against Mr. X. If the grand jury does agree that there is probable cause for the people or for the persons accused to be indicted, the grand jury issues the indictment. If they do not, that's what we call the true bill. If they do not agree, then they will issue what we call the bill of ignoramus. That means they do not agree. In this instant case, the TRC was never a court, so the TRC or was never a grand jury rather. So the TRC couldn't have done that. Second, the TRC couldn't have found anybody guilty because the TRC didn't have the power of a court. What the TRC did was a recommendation. The TRC did investigate and did make recommendations. The next thing that needs to be said to the public is that the prosecutors who will be hired by the code, the proposed War Crimes Code, War and Economic Crimes Code, will have to do their own investigation. Along with the prosecutors can also be investigators. But it's possible the prosecutors may not be investigators, but they will have to work with the investigators to do their own investigation to find probable cause, the likelihood. Probable cause simply means the likelihood that the crime was committed. So they have to have that, the prima facie as we also call it, that individuals committed crimes and they have to go to the point of gathering evidence before they arrive at that conclusion. So it's not just based on what the TRC said, then everybody takes it and runs with it. So it's important for the public to know these things because we are in the critical period, and the media does play a very key role in helping the public understand these matters.
Okay,
Yeah, quickly, let me just add to this. First of all, I'd like the public to know there is no evidence prosecutable in the TRC. As Mr. Stevens said, the TRC recommended, for example, you investigate Hassan Ability, or maybe you investigate President J.J. Roberts, so on and so forth. So there is no evidence. Now, the evidence collection is different. It has specific ways through which these pieces of evidence can be collected. These are international crimes. So the evidence will have to meet at least minimum international standard. It does not mean because you fought or because you were in high position, then you are someone who committed crimes. So there are modes of liability that we'll be looking at. Individual criminal responsibility, command responsibility, and other modes, for example, joint criminal enterprise. Now, we do not want to bore the listeners with all of those. But what is important is that the court, when established, will have temporal, territorial, and personal jurisdictions over the individual that may be mentioned and might have been mentioned in a TRC.
Okay.
So an investigation, a new investigation will be set out to collect evidence. It is important. One key thing that is there, for example, if you cannot give a witness a lead question. For example, Anna John Brown Keopa, because you will be under oath to expose, to totally, completely disclose how you gather the evidence.
Full disclosure.
Correct. Full disclosure. What were the questions you asked? If something resembled prejudice, you could damage and or jeopardize your case, like how they call it, the fruit of the forbidden tree, poisonous tree,
as we say in law, yes.
Poisonous tree or fruit, something like that. So those will be applicable. So nobody should be afraid. There is no evidence against anybody yet at this stage.
Okay.
Prosecutable.
So we will take few calls and then we just get back to you to report 0777 700 995 0555 995 995. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I come here.
You're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say good morning to your studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say good morning to your studio there. But I have two questions for that. My brother has now how you talking about Agripo, Nigeria, somebody wants to work for Nigeria.
You're very low. We're not getting you. Hello.
But the war of Kenya, America, outside the country and brought to Nigeria. So I want to look at that. Secondly, the start of Australia.
Okay, I think we have to take another call.
And 50 there. But when we went there, they grabbed me and beat me. They just tell me how many people were arrested and prosecuted for the death of President Kamara and the reparation and the jail where he benefit.
Okay, thank you. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Oh, Fatu, good morning.
Good morning, you're live.
This is Blia Bobby Addison, frontline journalist, security journalist, Republic of Liberia. Well, to the two gentlemen in studio, I listen to you guys. Fatu, I would recommend the next time before you have such discussion, get someone else involved into this. Most of the war that was fought in Liberia, we was on the war front with those fighters. The Ivory Coast War, I reported on that on the BBC with Paul Banjabika. We have our facts. So sometimes it is good. I listen to this part that we don't want to come to argue. Research is good because I've observed some people, they use others to enrich themselves and to move forward, to create NGOs. But the real fact is not sure. So when this World and Economic Crime Code comes, I would love for journalists to be investigated for misinformation given to the public. We don't have to leave ourselves out. We played a key role during the war. Thank you very much. So, Fatu, the next time, if you go on my Facebook page now, you'll see all of those that was on the war front. The late Dennis Samoka, Frank Lobo, or Azzy Reg, and we all was always on the war front along with George Bapping. So we play our role. What we saw on the war front, we can explain to people clearly, not they say, not going second, third party. No, we don't. But we're always there to go through the bullets. Thank you.
Okay, 0777 700 995. Good morning.
Good morning, Fatu.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
My name is Ismail Flomo. I join you from Kingsville. The first thing I want to point out is that the advocacy for work camps should be inclusive, which means there should be women participating. You have 4 men sitting in your studio. I don't know where they came from. All 4 of them. Next time, please push them harder to bring a woman representation when it comes to your studio, because women were heavily affected by the war. So everything about this advocacy should be central to it. Now, secondly, the Gender Studio are suggesting that the country should prioritize a war crimes code over an economic crimes code. Now, the argument is that the existing anti-corruption mechanisms are sufficient to address war crime corruption. That is interesting. First of all, what I want to see is the TRC report explicitly recommended the establishment of a dedicated economic crimes code for the country, and no one can argue that. The TRC did so in recognition of the fact that our wartime corruption was not ordinary. These were crimes that fueled the war, that made rebel groups very strong and devastated our country. Now, treating these as mere corruption cases could dilute the gravity and undermine the historic institution of the TRC. Secondly, under current law, you cannot, most corruption cases will expire in 5 years. So many cases are over 2 decades old. So they cannot fit on our current jurisdiction. So I think I agree with them that the government needs to push for war crimes code, but to suggest that economic crimes code as secondary is interesting. Now, one of the strategies for the...
We have to take other callers. Thank you. We have to take others.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Prince S. Fatima, and I feel for the mama the letter for every phone.
Okay.
Well, I listened to a studio guest. Now it's funny because the issue of the war and economic crime code or the war crime code. I think it is necessary that the government focus on the issue of the war crime code, because there are people who committed atrocities in Liberia, but on the contrary today they are benefiting from political opportunity. So this government should come and resolve into what? Funding the war crime code so that people who committed atrocities can go and get a chance for all of those acts they carry on during the civil process. So let me appreciate also my money for guests. And let me thank you for the advocacy. I think the advocacy is a right to thank you ever so much.
Okay, thank you. So you listen to the callers. Anthony, we'll start with you to address the
Yeah, I think one of the callers made a very good point about women. Yes, we new narrators do believe in diversity. We believe also in ensuring that women are brought on board. That is reflected in in the number of people we have on our team. We have done our best to ensure that our reporting does include women as well. If you've been following our work, stories we've reported, we have had women covered in those stories. So that's a very key point and is well noted.
Okay.
I think the other concerns are for the other guests.
Yeah, quickly. One of the callers talked about me talking about Sierra Leone and Cote d'Ivoire. What I did say was that there was an extraterritorial exportation of the 2 Liberian civil wars into Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Cote d'Ivoire. That's a fact. And as far as the Foday Sanko situation is concerned, I have no facts, evidence on that. I know that he died. All right. The one that talk about war coming from America, well, I do not know that. That's a vague statement. Was it Liberians? I mean, the Liberians planned the war in America? If that's the case, of course, that's why we're pursuing. Was it to the knowledge of the United States? I have not seen any such evidence. Those are urban legend. to assume that the United States sent President Charles Taylor to come and fight war. I mean, there are many arguments against that. Special extraordinary court, an extraordinary tribunal, according to the TRC's recommendation, will have jurisdiction. Of course, this is why it's now going through. We asked